So I would like to introduce you to the Max. Now, this is technically a console player, and I say console player very loosely here because you still keep that tag on your account even if you transfer, quote unquote, transfer to PC or just, start playing on PC. So these are a lot of players that are console players, quote unquote, console players that transfer to PC, and I still, like I said, say loosely, transfer to PC, that are open cheaters. Now, 3,000 battles, pretty, high up their account, and is very blatant in his record. Object 125 would be very good as a 5-1, 4-1, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, 4-1, just all the way down. I mean, it's just blatantly the easiest way you can look at this is how is it doing that? Someone who wants to openly just be as nuisance as possible, and he's, a 4-1 basically in that vehicle. And, staring at all the big things through, whatever it is. So I had a couple people ask me, also he's in this gamer squadron, if anyone's concerned. The biggest thing I've had a couple people ask me is, hey, what can I look for in a cheater? Now, granted, they want to know, a lot of people want me to do, like, hey, can you, show your account or whatever? And I could, honestly, on some accounts I could. I would have to basically block out everything replay-wise so you can't see anything specifically. But I could show you what to essentially look for. But the general premise of looking for a cheater is most high-end players. So I'll give you a great example. Go watch either Justin Plays TV or Spookston or... Deffin's more of an ARB player, but Spookston and Justin Plays TV are probably the two that I watch the most. Finally, has come back. His account is pretty good when it comes to observing or looking for stuff. But the premise is cheaters play a certain way. They very rarely use their binos. They never look at certain sightlines. They never look for certain things. They always stare directly at players, almost in general. They always have this sort of sixth sense awareness, and they do things that a normal player, and very much the way this is, very much was a normal player would not do. You notice almost every single time this player turns, he's looking directly at a target. Third person or not, he's looking directly at a target. So the premise of that, if you think about it, is that the easiest way to find a cheater is to recognize that they play in a way that is not normal. Now, if you've been playing as long as I have, you would know that normalcy for cheaters is basically, it's something that should be very odd for them to play. They are not normal. So here's a great example right here. He could see both of those players very easily from his position right here. He could have easily shot both of them if he were a normal player, because that's what I would do. I would see, hey, I see those two players. I would stop, back up, start shooting the other players, and kill them both. Instead, he goes into cover. Well, why does he go into cover? Well, he can see everybody in cover. Regardless of how it is, he can see everybody, no matter where they are. Another misnomer that people are saying to me a lot is that they assume that this player is just a console player, and that means he can target everybody on the map. That is a very gross inaccuracy. Console players currently, as I know, as from friends that I know that still play on console or still have a console and they play on mouse and keyboard, console players can currently only lock onto aircraft. I still have voted that this should be changed for anything above a certain BR. Granted, that is my opinion, and obviously my opinion is just that. It's my opinion. So the general premise is that console players can only lock onto that. But in general, you can tell, get out of there. You can tell that this player is not on console just based on his movements. Now, probably what it is that their account stays, as a console account, looking appearance-wise, and they are on PC. Another thing I'm going to mention is that if you have an opinion on my opinion, you do not need to be overly critical about my opinion. Specifically to a guy in my comment section named Poland. Now, I'm not going to mention the entire name, but I will say this player is borderline obsessive. And I would say that's probably overly obsessive. But this player is overly obsessive with giving his opinion against mine. A couple videos ago, I mentioned that ARB should not have markers, or they should have limited markers. The basis of that was that I feel, in my opinion, that it's very skillless for ARB to have markers when it is a realistic mode and should not have markers. That was my opinion, and that's something that I feel what it is. This player decided to go to my Reddit account, which I post frequently on. He decided to go to my Ko-fi, or coffee, whatever you want to put it, and my comment section. So 3 different places to tell me literally the exact same thing. That I am skillless, my KD doesn't matter, I'm terrible at the game, I shouldn't be able to have an opinion like that, blah, 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 blah. On my coffee, I refunded him because I don't like dealing with people that have literally no sense of what the words opinion mean, because it's my opinion. And the fact that I'm sorry that you have such a superiority complex with ARB, but I know higher level players that kind of wish that the markers were limited and weren't just as open as they are. Okay? Your opinion is what it is. It's exactly that. Your opinion. It's also my opinion and how it is. Also recently, Gaijin did a poll on if they should have markers be limited. And I don't know if it was technically Gaijin's poll, but I think it was a poll. It got a couple thousand votes on it. But a majority vote said they wanted to keep the marking the same. But there was a big chunk, about 30 or 40%. There's 30% that said they wanted limited markers. Kind of like how bot markers are in ARB, where there's kind of a dot above it, and that's all it kind of shows. And I kind of agree with that whole sentiment, but once again, my opinion. So if you have a problem with someone's opinion, just have a conversation. You don't need to be a complete dick on a couple of different platforms because you can't get over yourself about how stuff is just different in terms of your opinion. So please remember that it's an opinion, and have a conversation. That's all I'm asking. Have a conversation, and I will gladly get back to you on that. Poland, you're unbanned in my chats, by the way. I did refund your money on Ko-fi, but other than that, have a conversation, man. All I want to do is have a conversation in regards to this because I think it's actually constructive criticism that needs to be taken care of. So as always, I hope you all have a good rest of your morning, day, evening, or night, and have a good one.